the models that we have. Incidentally, in front of me, I have a Stardust. And I think just before we get started, I always want to kick it off with something. And since I'm from Chicago, this is the Chicago style in the Stardust. And it's pretty cool, and I think you'll love it. So here we go.
Excellent.
I always love to start off with, I left my heart in San Francisco. Oh, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. That was called Bad Bad Leroy Brown, and that was the Chicago style rhythm. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'm going to get into the program, and once I do, I'm going to give you a couple of things, and then we'll open it up for Sean to see if anybody has any questions. So let's get started. I hope you enjoyed, of course, that first number. I always have fun playing that organ style. Anyways, the first sheet that I have, Sean, why don't you put it up if you can? And this is facts called Did You Know These Facts? Did you know these facts? Now, the first thing, the SU series organ, it has many models, and I'm going to read them all for you. First of all, the first one is called the Legacy, the Rhapsody, the Sensation, the Performer, Royale, Stardust, Stardust Gold, the Grand Royale, and the Palladium. Now, all of those organs in the SU series have the traditional flat disc in the left-hand corner. Out of all of them, only one is using the USB stick, and that's called the Stardust Gold. Now, what's interesting about the Stardust Gold, it really was a Stardust, and we put all new software in there to gain the USB. So if you want to find out more about that, please call your keyboard advisor. It is unbelievable. So if you have a Stardust or even a Royale, you might be interested in going into the USB, which is the stick. And that's the only one that is available in the SU series. So do find out about it. I don't have a Stardust Gold here. I have a Stardust. So in the next series that came after was the A series. And it was quite interesting, the A series, and I'll read off those names in case some of you have that. You have the Encore, you have the Holiday Classic, the Legend, you have the Floridian or the Floridian Plus, the Prestige, you've got the Sterling, and you've got the Patriot. There's also a new software with the Symphony, which if some of you might have seen Robert's show yesterday, unbelievable on the Symphony. And then we have the A6000, the Imperial. Now, all of those use the USB stick, except for one, which is the A200 Encore. That's the only one, but otherwise they all are using the current technology. Now, what's also interesting, it's not written there, is that if your panel board is brown, or if your panel board is silver, the silver panel board is the virtual orchestra ones. Those are the ones that have the extra computers. So, and that starts with the Sterling. So again, if you want to get into a virtual orchestra, that is the one that will start in the virtual series. And of course, there are some in the smaller ones, which we've had workshops on that. Now, I want to know, Sean, is there any questions on what I've just covered so far?
I don't see any so far.
Okay, good. That means I'm 100%. Oh my God, that's so great. So great. What I'm going to try to do is cover things that haven't been covered before. So now we're going to go into a second sheet, and that has to do with the touch screen. Okay? Obviously, remember, the more things that are available in the organ, the larger the screen. So if you've got a small one, you'll only see it, maybe it has 2 lines, and then it grows and grows and grows. So again, now, when you get into a touch screen, we've had some problems because people don't know how to care for the touch screen. So always remember, do not spray any items, any solvent or anything. Use a damp rag and clean the screen. It's very, very important. And make sure that you don't have liquid go and get over to the sides, because you're going to have a problem and be calling a service man. Again, do not touch the screen with a pencil point or a pencil. You can use maybe an eraser, but I still think your finger is the best way to do the walking on it. So use that, okay? So always remember, the touch screen is very, very important, but use it correctly and clean it correctly. And you should clean it, especially with today's virus situation, the way we have it. Okay, now, next thing is so important, and I bet 80% of the people don't know this next feature that I'm going to show you. And it has to do with the monitor speakers. Now, what is so unique about this, over in the right-hand lower corner of your instrument, okay, over right-hand corner of your instrument, there is a volume control by your headset. And if you have the word monitor under it, you have 2 extra speakers in your instrument. You have one on the left on the upper, and you have one on the right in the upper. The volume control is there. If you put it to 7 o'clock, which is all the way to the left, that's off. If you put it to 5 o'clock, that's all the way on. Now remember, if you don't have the word monitor there, you don't have the extra speakers. So for those that know that, I've had people go to their homes and I see that that's totally turned off, and they never have realized that they have extra speakers in there and a control for it. Remember that you have to have the word monitor right below on the right-hand side under the word volume, and that is your control, okay? Now, if you want me to send you information on that, I will, and that is a very, very unique thing to have and utilize it, because again, you can get a much better sound on your organ. Sean, any questions so far on that?
We had one for a second and then it went away here, so we'll see if anybody has any, but otherwise I think you can move on, and I'll just interrupt you if somebody has a question.
Okay. Remember that. Look to the, and I'm going to say it one more time, I guess, as a teacher. Look to the right lower corner and look for the word monitor, and then you have a control for those added speakers in your
It does
instrument.
look like David has a question here. David, go ahead.
Yes, where does the Liberty fall in here? I thought that was an A series organ as well.
It is.
What's the question?
He asked if the Liberty is an A series as well. It is.
Well, again, if you have the word monitor in your right-hand corner, you have the control for those added speakers. And remember, in the Liberty, you do have the lift boards to bring up the sound through the upper part. In other words, you have some panels right behind your music rack. And do keep those open for the surround sound that you have. But you also have two lower speakers below that, and you have a control for it through the word monitor on your right-hand side, okay?
I think he was asking if it wasn't
Thank
on
you.
the list that you posted either, so we'll have to add that in later.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay,
move
thank
on.
you.
Okay, the next thing we're gonna talk about is what we call the expression pedal. And again, on the SU series, they really did some stuff that's quite unique. This is probably one of the, I think, the hardest thing for a home hobbyist to control, because they drive fast, and this is a gas pedal. Remember, if you press it down, it gets louder, and if you keep it up, it gets softer. But you also have some levers on the right side and the left side. Now, I just want to tell you about them because you have, depending on your model, you have a way of canceling those to your pedals or to your touch bar. And again, get with your keyboard advisor, because I could spend hours on this, because that is but first thing, you got to know where it comes from, and that's what I want to show you, okay? So now, in the expression pedal, first of all is I'm going to put on a piano, just to have you hear something, okay? I'm going to put a piano on, okay? And when I put the piano on, now when you play the piano on the organ, when you hit the notes, they're going to fade away. If I have an organ sound on, it's going to sustain it. So if I have an organ sound on, it'll just sustain. Okay, so let's get back to the piano. Now, if you move your foot to the left, and there's a lever there to the left, that is the damper pedal that's on the piano. So you will get the dampers to sustain it. That's what that pedal does. They always have the right pedal is on a piano is the damper pedal, and the one on the left was the one to do the soft part of the lower to make it softer. And the one in the middle was just there to separate the two. So I just wanted to let you know that. That's what the middle one was, okay? So again, it's a beautiful, beautiful sound. But if you want to add and make that piano sound any better on the SU, you want to add dynamic keying. Dynamic keying. Watching? that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sound. It actually has the touch of a piano, and now I have the sustain of the piano. So the expression pedal can add that sustain for the piano, which is moving it to the left. And also, you can add dynamic keying. Now, what's really neat, and I'm going to do this now, I'm going to put on an organ sound. People don't know this, but you can also sustain the organ with it. And it adds an extra reverb to your organ playing. So if you want to have a more like with reverb, you can use that sustain, not just for piano, that's moving your foot to the left, and just hold it in, and you'll have a great sound on the SU series. Now the one on the right is kind of unique because that's actually where we put the fill-ins as we play a song, and the fill-ins or FX. So if I'm going to do a song, which I'll do a little something here. Now, on certain organs, the FX can be done from the touch bar, which is right below the lower keyboard. Makes it much easier. That's over here. And also, if you go into features, you can also do the FX, which is the fill-in from the pedals. So a lot of people like different various ways of doing it. You can do it from the touch bar, you can do it from the foot switch, or you can do it from the pedals. That's called the fill-ins that you have available. And every one of the organs have those possibilities for you. So again, remember that. Now, the last thing about the expression pedal to the right is the golden harp. And what the golden harp is an arpeggio that goes up and down the keyboard. Now, what's neat about it, it's a nice thing to get near the end of a song if you're going to play a song. But it just keeps going and going. If you want to stop it, move your foot to the right. And it will sound like this. It's gone. So you have a control. Many people say, I don't use the golden harp because it drives me crazy. It goes back and forth, I never can stop it. Well, it's very easy. Use the expression pedal to your right, and that'll stop the golden harp from playing, and then release it when you want it back. It's a pretty nice feature. Makes you really sound professional. How do you like that? Isn't that a good one? Sean, any questions on that?
Let's see, it's a lot of good stuff. Let's see, I don't see any questions so far, or anybody flailing about or anything like that.
All right, good. Try some of these features. And again, we have these sheets, so make sure if we have your email, we can send that in in fact, if you have this recorded, are we recording this?
Oh, we sure are.
Well, if we want, we're recording it, so when Sean's bringing up the sheets in there, so you can go back and look at them again, which I would recommend very easily. So I'm having fun with this. I'm sorry, this is so cool. I mean, I'm glad I'm talking to thousands and thousands of people today. It's just amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, thousands and thousands, yeah.
Yes, okay. All
We do
right.
have one
Let's
question,
go on.
Joe.
There's some really interesting
Joe?
facts that I like to
Joe, we do have one question from Mary.
Okay.
Let's check her real quick. Go ahead, Mary.
I believe you said that feature is available on all models. I have a Symphony.
A symphony?
Yes.
The symphony is a Sterling with the new software, which is unbelievable. Yes. What's the question regarding the symphony?
I could stop the golden harp with the right pedal. Right? The feature you were just talking about is available on the Symphony?
Yes.
Okay,
That's correct. Yep.
that's my question.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. Also, the symphony, incidentally, over to your left, you have a speaker control. And if you put that on and you go over to your volume control and set it at 3 o'clock, you've gained the extra speakers in there too. So you've got a double set of speakers in your symphony because of this new software.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, it's a great sound. I love that instrument. Ooh, it is great. I really mean it. I get all the goosebumps when I think about it. It's really, I think, the best thing that's happened for those that can't get into the real expensive aria and the grand marquis and marquis. The symphony is really the ultimate in replacing those for sound. Okay? Now, I just want to compare a couple things between the SU series and the A series, because I'm going to go over that in just a few minutes here. The big thing between the SU and the A series instruments, which came out later after the SU, is that the buttons on the AU are 50% larger, and they reversed the tabs. In other words, the buttons were above the tabs in the SU. And in the A series, they put the buttons first and then the tabs. And they made them 50% larger, obviously because people were playing the buttons more than the tabs, so they made them closer. That was the big feature that made it quite unique, is the A series, the way they added the larger buttons. And they're actually 50% larger than the original SU series, okay? Now, the next thing I'd like to talk about, and that is called locking the sounds. One of the biggest things that they added to the SU series and the A series is they had a way of you locking the sounds. So in other words, if I liked a certain rhythm or a tempo, you should lock it in. And in the SUs, if you have it, there's a word, and look over to the left, and you will see that it says lock controls. So I'm gonna put on a rhythm, and I'm gonna put on a rhythm, and I'm gonna put on, let's see, I'm gonna put on the Dixieland one, just for the heck of it. That's pretty busy. A lot of stuff going on. So I am going to take off some of that sound, and I'm going to eliminate the Orchestra Plus. Now, I want to have that sound for the song, and I don't want it to keep jumping around. So I'm going to lock in the accompaniment, and I'm going to lock in the tempo because I like that speed. So now, if I switch buttons or pick something else, it locks that sound in all the way for me. I never have to change. I've kept that nice sound. Now, if I didn't do that, listen to what happens to the music as I was playing before, okay? Listen. See how busy it got? See how much stuff kept jumping in? I didn't want all that. That's too busy for me. I like a very simple arrangement. So the lock is a way of you controlling the arrangement so that you can keep it the same. So always remember when I hear people saying, oh, there's so much going on with that rhythm. You can take off some of them by taking off Orchestra Plus or finding a rhythm that has it simple, but lock it in and it'll stay there until you change it. I love that feature. Also, tempo. Tempo is really the hardest thing to keep remembering because if it goes too fast, you can't play it well. If it goes too slow, it's boring. So you want to lock in a tempo that is the right speed for you. But if I change into a different song, if I change to another song, it's going to go faster or slower. And I don't like that. I like a specific tempo to be. So remember to use a lock as any way that you, when you find something you like, go over to the word lock. Now, if you don't have lock, and some of the smaller in the E series, you could actually press two buttons together, and you will lock it in. So if you want to, you could push two buttons together, and the upper one and the lower one, and it'll lock it in. Okay, so remember that. So if I want to lock something in, I can push two together and lock it in. So that's another way if you don't have the lock area of the keyboard. Okay, that's a great feature for everybody on the SU. And also any of the larger ones too. Okay, if you got a smaller one, remember, if you want to lock in tempo, push the two together, and that'll lock it in together. Okay, I'll lock it for you. All right, any questions on that? Okay, we're doing good. All right, we're going to go on to the most difficult, hardest thing to teach. It's called transposing. Transposing. All the way over to the next sheet. After lock. Okay. How are we doing on time? We're doing good? Oh, yeah. Okay, transposing. Transposing is really easy because in the screen, you'll see over in, if you got a screen, it'll say the word C under transpose. Now, it's great when you want to transpose. Why do you want to transpose? Well, first of all is if you want to sing a song and it's too high, you will then want to transpose it down. I recommend that a lot of the Christmas music that you play, transpose it down 1 or 2 steps or 3 steps, okay? When people sing the Star Spangled Banner and play it, it's written in our music in the key of C, but it's actually written in the key of A flat. So what I would do in the music in the key of I would hit the transposer on the flat side, 1, 2, 3, 4, to get it down to A flat. And the screen will tell you that. So that now I can actually sing that song much easier, the Star Spangled Banner, and I'm still going to play it in the key of C. You never have to change. You don't have to learn how to read the notes differently. So the transposer is good for singing purposes. In fact, a lot of the hymns in church are written in A, G flat, A flat, and if you really get that music, it is difficult, you believe it or not. So, but in our easy play, it'll be written most of it in C, but if you want to sing it much easier, then you transpose it down, okay? Transposing also is an effect. One of the best entertainers that learned to transpose was a guy by the name of Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra sang with many orchestras, and when these orchestras like Glenn Miller and Tommy Dorsey, they didn't want to transpose because they had the sound of their instruments blended correctly, and transposing changed it. So Frank, when he went on his own, when he got Billy Rose, he said, hey, When I sing a song, I want to have some dynamic endings. So I wanted you to transpose that song up for me for the finale. And then he made the arrangements differently. So that's why most of the big bands in earlier days just played it in one key because of the sound of the saxophones and trumpets. But when Frankie got a hold of the orchestras, he says, hey, that's too boring for me. I want to get excited, get it finished. That's great. Michael Bublé uses it today. He copied everything in his arranging to what Frank Sinatra did. So like if I played the song New York, New York, and I play the last chorus, I'm going to hit the transposer in the sharp area and transpose it up a step. And that'll give me a nice finale ending, and I'm still playing the same notes. So always remember there. See where that second picture is there? I'm hitting the sharp. That one right there. That's how you make a song really, really sound great for an ending. You don't have to change a thing. You don't have to change registrations. All you do is you transpose it to give it a great finale. And usually it's the last chorus of the song. If it's a long song, I don't recommend doing all of it. I would do about half of it transposed. Okay? Now, here is the hardest part. Those are good songs in the key of C. Now, Sean, if you can go back, how to use, and there's a chart there that everybody should have next to the organ on the transpose sheet. Can you put that up for me? This is a special chart. You'll see it in a minute. Right there. Okay? If you notice the arrows, you'll see that the arrows are pointing to C because that is what the computer starts. But that's when songs are in the key of C. But let's say the song is in the key of F. It's already transposed. And I want to transpose it down because I can't sing it. What do? I want to put it in E flat. Ooh, that's a problem. That's a problem. How do I do it? Do I touch C till I get to E flat? No, it doesn't work that way. So this is what this chart is. Whenever you have a song that has a special key, you go to the letter in this chart. So in this case, let's say I go to F. Sean, can you kind of circle that F on that chart at all? Yes. The song is in the key of F. I want to transpose it down to E flat. How many notes away from F is E flat? E flat. How many is that? 2. And it's going where? Down. Okay? So I then go to the transposer, and don't look at the letters. I'm going to touch the black area once, twice. And now I'm actually playing the song in F in the key of E flat. You don't go and you use C as your guideline. Let's do one more. Let's go and do G. Can you do G for me? The song's in the key of G. Find it, there it is. Okay, the song, remember the last chord. Okay, I want to put this song in the key of B flat because this is actually, Frankie used to do that. He used to take a song and go up a third. So how do I do that? Again, how many notes away is B flat from G? A flat, A, B flat. That's 3 notes going what? Up. A flat 1, A 2, B flat. So I'm going to come over here, going up to the sharp once, twice, 3 times, and there I have it. I have transposed the song in the key of G to B flat. This is a great chart to have next to your organ so that you can figure out how to transpose when a song is in different keys. How do you know what key the song is? 99% of the time, it's the last chord of the song. So again, so that chart, I tell you, it's the hardest thing to teach, to have people understand, and that chart is a godsend for you to figure out how to transpose. Again, if you have trouble, that's why we're here. We have keyboard advisors, and every one of them know how to help you out with that. I think that's a great, great way of learning how to transpose, okay? So those are the features of transposing. And if, again, in the SU series, if you've got the two buttons, just hit the two together, and you're right back to the original way the organ is built in the key of C. So even if I go and I hit it 10 times, and I figure I don't have to go and hit it 10 times to bring it back, I hit the two buttons together, and I bring it right back to where it belongs. Okay? Any questions on that? Again, there has to be in transposing. Sean, any?
Not
You mean
that I
I'm
can.
doing that good of a job today?
Yeah, you're teaching everybody everything. They got no questions anymore because
Okay,
they're all
so those are
perfect.
some great features on the SU series, and I really mean it. But remember to get that chart and use it and have it next to the organ and get with your keyboard advisor, and I'll tell you, you will never have a problem transposing in different keys. I trust you. That's the way to do it. Okay? All right. We did the lock situation. Okay. I'm going to go over now to the A series organ. And Sean, do you have any questions, or anybody has anything they want to talk about real quickly before I go over to the other model?
I see one from Gene Cerna. So Gene, go ahead. You're muted, so you have to unmute yourself there. Go
There
ahead.
you go. Joe, I have a problem knowing when to change the key.
Good question. Good question. Okay. There are, first of all, let's finish the song. Okay. And when you want to transpose, you want to, I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to take a song. I'm going to take a waltz, okay? Just a very simple waltz. And I'm going to play it. I'm going to finish the song. Now the song is counting in the key in 3 beats, okay? So when I say I want to transpose, I always want to transpose on the first beat. So the song is in the key in a 3/4 time. So I just finished the song. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. On the count of 1, hit the transposer. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you don't know how to count, look for the red dot in the counting area where your tempo is. When it's red, hit the transposer. So watch, it's going 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hit the transposer when it's red. 1. So their way it does, so you just don't do it any old time. So I finished playing the song and I let the beat continue, and you'll be surprised how nicer that is. Here's a polka. A polka. Three, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see it now. It sounds like it belongs because I do it on with that red. So when you finish the song, just have the beat keep going, and you can hit it at that 1 count. That's the only way to make it sound. Otherwise, it sounds like this. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Oops. Are we there? Did I lose you? Uh-oh.
You're good. We have another question from Cecil. You go ahead. Should ask you to unmute on your screen there.
Okay. Okay. Great information, Joseph. Thank you. Learning a lot. I have a question about transposing.
We're back.
I'm not a singer.
Mhm.
I know you showed how to do it while not singing, but is it used mostly for singing, and does it get to be used only of each song? I know you touched on that, but more.
Transposing has these effects. First of all, is if people are trying to sing in a group and they find it's way too high, you transpose it down. You either hit the transposer 1, 2, 3 times going down. Okay. The second way is in effect to make a song more dynamic or finishing a song, and then you go up just one time. Now, when you hit the transposer, always think of the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hit it at the time of the first count of each measure. Doesn't matter how many measures you wait, because you're the conductor, you can add as many measures as you want. So the second way is when you want to make a song for a finale, give it a final finish way of transposing it up. And again, you can transpose it as many times as you want. If you listen to Robert Roman do his concerts, he does a great job, and right in the middle, he's transposing up, transposing again. Sean does it in his concerts. He does a great job just to give it that finale. But you don't transpose at a finale going down. That's like saying goodbye. I'm sorry to leave you. That makes the song sound sad. And you don't want that to happen. You want a song to sound bright in the finish. I hope that answers the question there.
Yeah, that's great. Giving a thumbs up.
We okay?
I think we're all good. Any more questions from
All
anybody?
right, I'm going to switch over to the other organ while I got the chance. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
All right. All right, are we on there? Okay.
You're on.
All right. What I did for a finale here is something really unique. Because what I did for everybody is I have a song done in 3 versions. One is called Easy. Second is called Intermediate. And third is for those that want to add extra notes and learn how to play it more professionally. So the first song, and the song is called Just a Closer Walk with Thee. Now the easy arrangement, okay, Sean, do you have the easy arrangement up?
Sure, I can show that. Hang on.
Okay.
No. Whoop, that's
This is the easy arrangement of Just a Closer Walk with Thee. And it has the very basic chords. And it has normally no rhythm. Okay, so if I were to play this song, I would just play it maybe with an organ sound and just play with the easy button, okay? And it would sound like this. Not too bad, not too bad. If you want to just getting started, that's a nice way of making that song sound just really nice. No, you don't have to worry about rhythm. You just have put the easy chord on, put a nice organ sound on, and play. So that's good for the beginners. Okay, the intermediate version, which is the next one, for those that want to be challenged, it does a couple things. It adds some extra notes and some extra chords, and it's called color chords. And there's one on the 1, 2, 3rd line. If you look there, there's F sharp diminish. That's a color chord. 4th line, 2nd measure. See if boy, I tell you, Sean is unbelievable. Look at that. F sharp diminish, and how you play that is you play F sharp and C. Now, diminished chords, that's all you need on that is F sharp and C. Why I say that is if you have to put and play the name of that chord with your pinky finger, which is of your left hand. If you play it a different order like C and F sharp, it's going to show a C diminished chord. Diminished chords, whenever you see them, you have to play the name of a diminished chord with your pinky finger. And if you don't understand that, get with your keyboard advisor. So the way I play that diminished chord is F sharp and C. And it's an added chord, okay? Also in it is something on the 3rd line called triplets. And I learned how to, triplets are very hard to play, but I want everybody together on the count of 3 to slowly say triplet. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Triplet. Again, triplet. One more time. Triplet. Guess what? Here we go. One more time, say it. Triplet. You just learned how to play a, huh? How do you like that? There's how you play a triplet. So if you say it, triplet, you can play it. Triplet. Got it? Practice that and you'll see. That is so much fun. And that's, again, adding some color. Now, in playing this song, there are so many different rhythms that you could use. And we're going to skip below. And so I'm going to, in this case here, I'm going to use the Dixieland arrangement. I love Dixieland. So I'm going to go to Dixieland and play the Dixieland arrangement, but I'm going to slow it up. I'm not going to have it fast. I'm going to slow it up to, probably about 120. I like it around 120, 125. So I'm slowing that up, and I'm going to play this song with the Dixieland arrangement, and you're going to hear an introduction is going to be, you can either use a 2-measure introduction or you can use a 4-measure introduction. It all depends on which one. If you've got 2 intros, you can press, the first one is 4 measures and the second one is 2 measures. So we're going to use the one for 4 measures. So here's how it sounds when I play the more intermediate version, and watch out for the triplets. Everybody got it? This is fun. Here we go. Here's the intermediate version of Just a Closer Walk with Thee. That's the intermediate version. Did you hear the triple that's in there? All right, everybody. Okay, and the last one.
Now, before you start with the last one, let's do some announcements, and then we can close it out with the
All
final.
right, thank you.
So just a couple things. I don't know if Robert's available or not, so I'll go ahead. But basically, we've got a lot of great stuff coming up. So this week, tomorrow and Thursday are our regular weekly classes, 11 o'clock Arizona, 2 p.m. Florida. And those are going to be taught by Carey Price this week. So you probably all saw him, hopefully, on our concert last Friday. So you got a little tape. Yeah, now he's going to get to teach you some things here. So that's tomorrow and Thursday if you're in those classes. Then on Friday this week, we have a new concert, and that's going to be at the same time, 11 a.m. in Arizona, 2 p.m. in Florida. And our concert guest for this week is a fella named Andrew Leach, which we're excited about because we haven't seen a concert from him yet, so you get a new, fresh face. So make sure you attend that. Don't miss it. Anything else from you, Robert, that you can think of? I think you're.
Yes, I do. I'm here. I've been watching and listening. Great job, Joe. I really knew you could play an organ song or two. What I want you guys to do is keep an eye out for the emails. We're going to be introducing all of the classes, and the links are going to be available on the website. Actually, the website has been converted over to start listing those. However, not all the events are posted on there now, but it's okay to go in and start clicking through to see where the calendars are with all the events. What will happen is you'll be able to go onto the website, click on the upcoming classes events, and it has the product features classes and the variety classes. And what's going to happen is the links for those classes are going to be in on those dates. For the next few weeks, what I'm going to do is when I send you the email to join the class, the link that you click is going to bring you to the website. So it's going to get you in the habit of using the web, because that's ultimately where all of the links will be. But give it a little time. We're gonna kind of segue over. I'll still be sending you emails, and what'll happen is I won't have to send out 3-4 emails a day to different stores and so forth. You'll have everything, and then when you get an email, it'll be something that's maybe a special announcement or special event or what have you. So that's a little bit on the webpage. Speaking of special announcements, over the next 7 days, we have a few different little surprises that we're going to have. So stay tuned in. It's going to be for select group customers, certain products. Sean might be featuring one product. We may have Joni featuring a product and playing. And so just stay tuned in on that. And that's really all I have, other than that all of our stores are considered gift shops. And our gift shops are loaded with great inventory. And as soon as Joe is done, our gift shops are officially open, and we have a lot of instruments on sale. We have some great opportunities. We still have a few instruments left on our dealer buyout. If you heard about, you might want to get with your staff members and check that out. We have some phenomenal opportunities there. And that's all I have. Joe, you have a final song you're going to play?
Yes, thanks, Robert. That's a great thing to say to everybody. If please help us out. We are, they're moving organs in my home right now because they need to get rid of them. So we've got to get some of these in people's homes other than mine. So please help us out. And there are unbelievable specials right now. And anybody that wants an A series, this is really great. So anyway, with all the extra little notes. Now, we teach how you can do these notes without writing them in, so you can see when we write them in. There's a lot what is called grace notes. Grace notes is where you slide off a note below into the regular note. So I'm going to change the beat up a little bit. I'm going to go back to my Chicago style, and hope you enjoy it for the finale. This is the Closer Walk with Thee and a more professional way of hearing it. Here we go. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that.
Woo! Good job, Joe.
All right. Thank you. Thank
We
you.
enjoyed it
Look
very
at the
much.
audience there. We got hundreds of people there. Look at that.
Makes you
Unbelievable.
sound more
Great job,
professional.
Michael.
Thanks. Thanks, Sean. Thanks,
Sounds
Robert.
great.
See you all.
Bye.
Bye, Joe. Bye,
Bye,
Sean.
Joe.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sean. Thank you.